Hello again. We're going to be continuing the quest. So I spent some time just messing around with my config. I added some emotes to my action bar just for the sake of it. Now one thing I have noticed is that they've improved the quality of switching classes. So before, whenever you would switch between one class and the other, you would have a completely blank action bar in all regards, which meant you had to redo all of these buttons if you wanted to have them with every class. Whereas now, if I switch to Archer, for example, it will only switch class abilities. It will not switch the non-class ones, which is very good. So these side action bars, for example, will just stay as they are. So if I switch back to country, then there you go. You see how I didn't have to reset all of these on the side, for example. There's no need, which will save a lot of time for more classes and more, especially when you get into professions as well. Because I can imagine eventually this vertical bar being completely full of all my classes and professions that I want to switch to gear-wise. Anyway, so let's carry on this quest. So, impressed by your progress, Minot wishes to send you to Bentbranch Meadows, where you will find further opportunities to learn. Okay, so Bentbranch Meadows is in Central Shroud, so let's go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Chocobo Porter there, just because I'm feeling a little bit lazy, so I want to show you how it works. So previously I had visited the Chocobo Keep at Bentbranch Meadows. You have to do that in order to have it as a location for taking a porter. Now what a porter is, it's like a Chocobo taxi, which will automatically run to the location, but only the location. You can't change where it goes. The only thing you can control is how soon you jump off the Chocobo. If you want to jump off before, if you want to join a fate or whatever. So if we take a look, there we go. Chocobo. You can rent a Chocobo if you wish. That will take you anywhere you like for a certain amount of gil per time, but we're going to take the Chocobo Porter because it's a lot cheaper, especially when you go to a specific place. And the closer the place is, the cheaper it will be. So for example, here, Bentbranch Meadows takes 1 minute, costs me 5 gil. So, commence the following trip? Yes. Now, in my case, I've moved my interface around, but wherever you see this symbol, this Chocobo symbol, all I would have to do to dismount is right-click it, and then I would dismount. Now, there is other options of getting around in the game, including teleporting. Now, I find that teleporting is incredibly expensive in the game, because you might spend 300-400 gil just to teleport to around the crystal in the middle of nowhere, whereas a combination of Chocobo Porters and wow, it's a jittery. Anyway, between Chocobo Porters and airship paths and things like that, it will be the cheapest way to travel around compared to teleporting. And they have added the housing system into the game for testing in this beta phase. So what I would like to do really is save every penny I have in the game and not waste it on things like travelling around, just to make sure that I have enough money for my house, you know, so I don't have so much less money than I could have had. So my computer's been playing up a bit today. good idea when you're getting new pieces of gear is to keep all the old gear anyway, because it will be useful for when you're leveling up other classes. So for example, all the gear I'm using on Conjurer I could easily use again on Thaumaturge and probably on Arcanist as well, so I might as well keep them all. And as you can see, there is plenty of space to hold it all. So it says, Kiefer, the head wrangler at Bentbranch Meadows, has some work for you on the ranch. Okay, accept. Well, this is one of the little side quests you need to do, which involves feeding Geisel greens to the chocobos around the ranch. So first we pick them up, then we take them to 3 locations around the ranch. One thing that makes a very big difference when playing this game is having people to play the game with. Now, the good thing about the community in Final Fantasy is that it's a lot nicer than in other games, because I played World of Warcraft for 8 years, for example, and people there are not as nice. So whereas here everyone is, and I am within my link shell. They're on Mumble all day. You know, they talk about anything you like. So you never feel a whole day go by, and then they organize big events together, they do everything together. Anyone needs help, loads of people will be willing to help, and so on. So having that community feel is what makes these games worth it, rather than it being a single player game. Now, the good thing about the game as well is that because you have all of your classes on one character, it means you will be on your one character for a very long time, so people will get to know who you are, and you will form your own reputation on the server. So it's a good idea to always, you know, be nice to other people and so on, because then when the day comes and you want to get an invite to a random, if people know that you're a nice person, then you're more likely to get an invite. I need to organise these bags at some point, which I'll do another day. Anyway, next says Kiefer, the head wrangler at Bentbranch Meadows, appears most distraught. See if there's anything you can do. With someone called Rosalind. Some of the character names in the game are actually extremely hard to pronounce, and some of them are just funny, so you will have fun later on trying to remember people's names and location names and so on. Obviously Rosalind is not a funny name, I just remember some of the other names also. I don't go up this just yet. So again, I check the buttons, make sure that they're up. Check. So here they are. We want the Q-Can scrambler. Now, by me casting Thunder first and Arrow immediately after, which is instant power, I then immediately have to damage over time spells on the last hit before he even knows what's happening. Just remember that Thunder is actually a thaumaturge, so it won't come standard. Thankfully for the quest at the lower levels, the monsters are less likely to link, which means that when you pull one, only one of them will attack you, whereas at higher levels, if you have two of them side by side like that, chances are if you attack one, both will attack you. So it gets you to the game slowly, and then the difficulty increases. And that's standard for any element. If these were to link, when you select them, you would see yellow lines between them, and then you would know that which ones they're going to link to. So the game does well at warning you about which ones to pull them off. One button which might be of interest, if you press Z you can see and unsee the weapon, which is like this. If you want to get your weapon out or put it away, you just press Z. Okay, so I'm going to accept this quest even though it's not the main scenario quest, because it will be done in the same place as the scenario quest. So next, Osha Jab, a woodwaller at the Matron Lev, is looking for a sure-footed adventurer to pluck blue trumpets from the root of the nearby Heaven's Pillar. If I remember correctly, one of the eggs is actually under this, here it is. So you see it's under these stairs, just because I remember having looked at it the first time in the previous video. Not all the egg run away. Some of the times when you're trying to get to it, whatever, you might see a monster. Not necessarily the good thing in this game is that you don't have to loot monsters, you don't have to waste time with that, it will just loot by itself. Because I still remember the days in other games where even after you finish what you need to do, you have to spend so long, you know, looting monsters and so on, and it just seemed like such a waste of time. You need to be careful here that when you're trying to loot these blue trumpet that you don't fall off. Now, one thing they have added to the game is this experience points for discovering a new location. So whenever you go somewhere you haven't been before on your character, it simply says you discover a new location, you gain whatever experience points. And there is also achievements for when you've finished exploring every locations of a certain area. So Theodore is looking for an adventurer to deliver a message. Okay, so as you saw, even though the other quest was optional, I now have 2 quests to turn into her rather than 1. So it's always a good idea to accept all additional quests when they are side by side, because they have been put there for a reason, they're not there by accident. So. And as you saw, doing the extra quest did not slow me down in doing the main scenario quest. Now, in Final Fantasy games, the Subligar, they're like pants, basically. So, it's up to you if you ever want to get them. People tend to make fun a lot, for obvious reasons, because they look ridiculous. So, I will not be taking the Subligar this time. And as is standard, the second I get a new item, equip it, refresh. Okay, so now it says search for signs of the shadowy figure. And you can see here this little red circle is where you need to go. It's very easy to miss this little red circle, so always take a note that when it opens the map, after you've clicked on it, it will try and center what you're meant to be looking at. So take a note of how small this red circle is, but also take note of the fact that it is right in the middle of the map. So always try and look in the middle of the map when you open it using the quest tracker. Okay, so virtual connection lost, that's a bit weird. So we will continue as soon as I get reconnected.